You are sabotaging your own wealth right now. And the most dangerous part is that you have absolutely no idea that you're doing it. The 8 habits that we're about to cover are the silent reason that most entrepreneurs never build real wealth. No matter how hard they work, no matter how much they earn, you'll recognize yourself in at least one of these. And today that changes. A few years ago, a client came to me who on the surface looked like the picture of success. He had a great business, respected in the industry, and the business that was genuinely thriving. But privately, they were in financial chaos. Everything was all over the place. Despite earning more money than most people ever would, they had almost nothing to show for it at the end of the month. No investments, no savings, a lifestyle consuming every single penny they generated and then some. When we started to work together, the picture became very clear very quickly. It wasn't just one catastrophic decision that created the small problem. It was 8 small normalized habits that had been quietly dismantling their wealth every single month for many, many years because nobody had ever shown them what to look for. And within 3 months of addressing those habits at the root cause, the client had completely transformed their financial position. Same industry, same strategy, but a completely different financial position. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm Mindy, founder and CEO of my training company, Mind, Money and Business, where we help business owners all around the world in over 87 different industries add an extra $100 million of revenue in new business without changing their strategy or their marketing. And one of the most consistent things that I see in every single entrepreneur who's earning well but not building real wealth is this. It's never about how much they're making, it's always about the habits that are running underneath what they're actually making. In this video, I want to show you exactly what those habits do and how to stop them for good. Money habit number 1, never learning how money actually works. This is the habit that makes every other habit on this list possible. Most people, including successful entrepreneurs, have never actually learned how money works. Not really. Not at the level that creates real lasting wealth. They know how to earn it, they know how to spend it, but the mechanics on how money actually grows and compounds, how it moves and it multiplies, the difference between income and wealth, between revenue and profit, between spending and investing. These are the things that most people have picked up in fragments from unreliable sources, but never really examined them seriously. And the reason that this is so costly is that money operates by rules. And if you don't know the rules, you're playing a game that you can't win no matter how hard you work. The entrepreneurs who build real lasting wealth are almost always the ones at some point made a committed decision to understand money at the fundamental level, how it flows, how it compounds, how it's protected, how it's grown. That education is available to you and it's not complicated, but it requires a decision to take it seriously. And most people never make that decision because they assume that earning more money will actually solve the problem. No, it won't. Earning more without understanding money just means losing more money at a much faster rate. Money habit 2, spending to impress others. This is the habit that lives at the intersection of identity and finance. This is one of the most expensive things a person can do with their money. Most lifestyle spending, the car that's slightly more than they can afford, the office that's slightly more than they actually need, the designer labels, the events, the experiences that get shared on social media, just to impress others. Now, it's not actually about enjoying those things. It's all about how I look to the outside. It's about managing how other people perceive you. It's about using the money to construct this kind of a persona that isn't actually you right now. So people on the outside look up to you and think, wow, look at this person. And the truly devastating thing about this habit is it's self-defeating because the people that you're spending to impress are either not paying attention or they're spending to impress you or making judgments based upon your external display and have nothing to do with your actual worth or capability. An identity that requires external validation to feel real. The money leaves. The perception that it's meant to create is temporary at its best. And the wealth that money could have actually become, invested, compounded, deployed, is gone permanently. When you really know who you are, your identity is decided and owned from the inside, not the outside. The need to spend money to prove to others disappears, and that shift alone can direct tens of thousands towards actually building wealth. Money habit number 3, not investing in themselves. This is the habit that costs entrepreneurs the most in the long run because they can't justify investing money in themselves in their own personal development because they feel it's a waste of money and it won't be beneficial. Every time an entrepreneur decides not to invest in the coaching, the education, the mentorship, the resources that actually generally accelerate their growth because they can't afford it, because the timing's not right. I'll do it when I have more money. They make a decision that goes against them because the knowledge, the skills, the identity shift, the strategic clarity the investment would have produced does not have a one-time value. It has a lifetime value, and every month spent without it is a month of slower growth, smaller results, and compounding missed potential. I've never met a highly successful entrepreneur who looks back and wishes they'd invested less in themselves. I've met hundreds who look back and wish they'd invested sooner, more boldly, and with more commitment to their own development. The return on investing in your own mind, your own thinking, your strategy, your identity, your capability is by far the highest return available to any entrepreneur. Not because it feels good, because it directly and measurably changes what you are able to produce. Stop asking whether you can afford to invest in yourself and start asking whether you can afford not to. Because that version of you that exists on the other side of the right investment will not only pay you back tenfold, it will pay you back 1,000-fold. And the gap between where you are now and who that investment would make you is the most expensive gap in your business. Before we talk about the rest of the money habits, if you can already see yourself in the first couple of habits we've already discussed, I've created a free money audit that's going to help you figure out your bad money habits and uncover why your income has been stagnant and how to actually fix it once and for all. It includes a 3-step process that you can start to implement right now to make the changes that your business needs so you can earn more whilst working less. So hit the link below and grab your free money audit right now. So let's get back to the rest of these bad money habits. Money habit number 4, undercharging for their services. This is the money habit that most entrepreneurs recognize in themselves and almost none of them fix it, because fixing it requires addressing something that goes much deeper than pricing strategy. Undercharging is not a market problem. It's not a positioning problem. It's an identity problem. The price you put on your work is a direct, precise reflection of who you believe you are and what you believe you can charge at that subconscious level. And if that belief has a ceiling, if somewhere beneath your conscious awareness there's a number that feels like the most someone like you is allowed to charge, your pricing will find a ceiling and sit just below it, regardless of how much value you actually deliver. I see entrepreneurs who are generally transforming the lives and businesses of their clients, producing results that are worth 10, 20 times, 50 times the amount of what they're charging, and yet they can't bring themselves to raise their prices. Not because the market wouldn't pay, not because the value wasn't there, but because the identity has not caught up. Because charging that amount would require believing something about their own worth that they have not yet given themselves permission to believe. The practical consequence of this is fucking huge. If you're undercharging by even just 20% across your client base, the compounding financial cost of that habit over 5 years is massive. And it's not just about the money, it's what the undercharging represents to the market about your value, what it attracts in terms of client quality, and what it does to your own sense of worth every time you accept less than you know you deserve. Fix the identity, the pricing follows, and the revenue impact is immediate. Money habit number 5, waiting for the perfect moment to start. This is a money habit that disguises itself as the smartest thing to do, because waiting in the right context does actually look like common sense. It looks like patience, it looks like being responsible, measured and strategic. But in most cases, it's none of these things. It's fear with a very convincing cover story. The perfect moment to start investing does not exist. The perfect moment to launch an offer doesn't exist. The perfect moment to make the financial decision that would move everything forward does not exist. There's only one moment, and that's now. Every month spent waiting for better conditions is a month of compounding that you'd never ever recover. And here's what makes it fucking crazy. The conditions very rarely get significantly better. The market shifts, new uncertainties replace the old ones. A reason to wait is always available if you're looking for it. Accumulating nothing, building nothing, letting the most valuable assets they have, which is time, drain away while they're prepared to begin. The entrepreneurs who build wealth aren't the ones who waited for certainty. They are the ones who made the best decision available with the information they had, and then they just adjusted and they went. Start now, do it boldly whether you're ready or not, because the cost of waiting is always higher than the cost of beginning. Money habit number 6, taking advice from broke-ass people. This is the habit that most entrepreneurs would never consciously admit to, but almost all of them are guilty of this at some point, because the people whose opinions influence your financial decisions are not always the people that you would choose as your financial advisors. They are the people closest to you, your family, your friends, your peers, the people whose voices carry the most emotional weight in your life. If the people that you're taking financial advice from are not where you want to be financially, if they're not built the business, the wealth that you want, the income, the lifestyle that you want, then their advice is simply unhelpful. It's actively dangerous, because their advice is filtered through their own beliefs about money, their own fears, their own ceilings. And when you take it, you're not getting their guidance, you're simply taking on their limiting beliefs. I see this destroy financial ambition constantly. The entrepreneur who's about to make that bold move, that bold investment, they talk to a family member who'd never invested boldly in their life and let the conversation talk them out of it. And the business owner who's about to increase their prices and ask their peers about what they felt about these new prices. And they say, I wouldn't do it if I was you because you might not make any sales. And they were convinced, so they stopped increasing their prices. And the person who had a real opportunity right in front of them sought the advice from someone, the validation from someone who'd never seized the real opportunity themselves and missed it entirely. So who should you be taking advice from? Mentors who built what you're trying to build, the people that have already walked the path and had the results to prove it. Coaches with genuine expertise in the area that you're looking to get into, not just motivational energy, but real knowledge, battle-tested knowledge, and the peers who are already on a similar journey, entrepreneurs who are stretching towards the same level you are, who understand the risks and the rewards because they're living them too. These are the conversations that expand your thinking, challenge your limits, and pull you forward. And every other financial conversation, however well-intentioned, has the potential to kill your dreams. The rule is simple. Take financial advice from people who have already the financial results that you want. Seek mentors who have earned the right to give you guidance. Build a circle of peers who are going where you're going. And protect your financial decisions from well-meaning, unqualified voices that have been shaping them for far too long. Money habit number 7, playing it too safe and never putting money to work. This is on the other side of the financial self-sabotage coin. And it's just as bad as spending recklessly, but it's just a lot more quieter and more socially acceptable. This is the paradox of playing it too safely with money. The feeling of security that comes from keeping money liquid, keeping it in low return accounts, keeping it close, visible, and controllable. That feeling is not security, that's an illusion of security. Whilst that money sits still, inflation erodes it. Time passes without compounding, and the gap between where you are financially and where you could be if this money was working for you is considerably wider. Real financial security does not come from holding money, does not come from hoarding it. It comes from deploying it intelligently, from making it work in investments, in assets and opportunities that generates way above that money sitting still. The entrepreneurs who build genuine wealth understand that money at rest is money in slow decline. Start asking not just how you can protect your money, but how you can actually put it to work, because that version of your financial future looks different to how you're operating right now. Money habit number 8, staying loyal to a broke mindset. This habit underlies every other habit on this list, and it's the one that if you don't address it, it will ensure that fixing the other 7 will only ever be temporary. It's about the beliefs that you hold about money, where it comes from, who it's for, and what it means about you. What happens when you have too much of it? Whether you're the kind of person who gets wealthy, or whether wealth is something that happens to someone like you, or does it happen to other people? These beliefs were formed long before you became an entrepreneur. Many of them were from your childhood, absorbed from other people around you, from what you saw growing up, what you experienced and what you heard about money before you were even able to make sense of this or not. And those beliefs are running right now. Underneath every financial decision you make, underneath every price that you set, under every investment you avoid, and every money conversation you find uncomfortable, the broke mindset does not announce itself. It operates silently through the decisions that feel completely reasonable, the habits that feel totally normal, and the results that feel normal to a person like yourself. The permanent lasting shift that changes the financial future of every entrepreneur I've worked with is not a new strategy or a new system. It's a new identity. A decision made seriously and completely that you are someone who builds wealth. Someone who's wealthy isn't lucky, it's how they operate. It's their identity. When the identity is genuinely held at the subconscious level, the habit changes. Not through willpower, not through hard work, because the new habits are simply what that person does, and the old ones stop making sense. So the reason that you're not as wealthy as you should be is not your income, it's your habits. And the habits are the direct reflection of your identity, which means changing them permanently requires going much deeper than your behavior and addressing the beliefs and your self-concept so your new results are permanent. 8 money habits that we've covered today. Never learning how money actually works. You can't win a game whose rules you don't understand. Spending to impress others, because using money to construct the identity that you do not currently have is literally the most expensive thing that you can do. Not investing in yourself because you're waiting until you can afford it is the exact reason that you can't afford it yet. Undercharging your services, the gap between what you charge and what you're worth, is not a market problem, it's an identity problem, and it's costing you every single day. And waiting for the perfect moment to start. The perfect moment does not exist, and the cost of waiting is always higher than the cost of beginning. Taking advice from broke people, because every voice you let into your financial decisions is either expanding or lowering your income ceiling and playing it too safe and never putting money to work, because money in rest is money in slow decline. And finally, staying loyal to a broke mindset. Every habit on this list is generated by the identity underneath it, and that's where the real work begins. One of these hit you harder than the others. You know which one, start there. If this video landed for you, you need to watch this one next. It explains why self-sabotage seems to show up right when things are starting to go well, and what's really happening in your mind when success collapses. So click the video right now and I'll see you there.